Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, Principal Atmospheric Scientist at Nutrient Ag Solutions, and I want to thank you for watching this weekly Ag Weather Update brought to you by Farm Credit Associations of North Carolina. Well, we need to start off our discussion this week by talking about what happened over the last week in the North Central Plains. This is a map made back on the 12th of March showing you the snow water equivalent. Now, what we're seeing here is that there was quite a bit of liquid water trapped up in its frozen state in that snow. And with that major winter storm that went through the middle part of the country last week, we brought a lot of rain to this section of the country. We also brought a lot of showers and thunderstorms right in here into the lower and mid-Mississippi River Valley, whereas when this system finally made it over to the East Coast here in the eastern side of North and South Carolina, it was really only scattered showers and thunderstorms. But let me take you right back to this section of the country. And the reason why I want to start here in this video is because of this map. What we see here is a dot over every river gauge in the country that is at or near flood stage. And why this is important to the Carolinas, all of the water we see here and here is going to delay spring field work and spring planting of everything we grow in the middle part of the country. And that's going to have a major impact on what we're doing in the Carolinas, because until we get rid of the water that we have in place here, until we bring up those soil temperatures and get rid of the snow that's still tucked away in the northern plains, this season's looking to have some early season delays due to rain to the south and a lot of snowpack to the north. So keep that in perspective for our farmers here in the Carolinas, that the middle section of the country is wet and cold. Now, as that system progressed toward the east, we did get some heavy rainfall amounts in parts of the Appalachian Mountains. But like I said, as this system got over the mountains and then the main front dragged right here through the Carolinas, we really didn't see anything but scattered showers and thunderstorms. So no major accumulations from that big low pressure system that caused so much problems last week for the middle section of the country. Well, as we progress forward, I want to start you off by looking at our high-resolution NAM model, just getting us out to Wednesday morning. And there's not a whole lot to talk about. Now, we'll get into the temperatures in a few minutes, but we really overall see that the Carolinas are going to have a dry start to this week. And according to the ECMWF, that's the European model, that drier pattern may actually hang on all the way into the beginning of the following week. Meanwhile, the middle section of the country, it's going to have a dry beginning of the week, but it looks as though by the time we get into the weekend and early next week, it's going to get hammered in that same area again, while the East Coast over here looks to have a slight drier bias, at least through the next 8 days, maybe even a little bit longer than that. So with that as our setup, let's dig right into this by going to our European model. This is every 6 hours as forecast by the operational European model. Now, as I click play here, I'm just going to get right on through the next few days. This is into Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe by Thursday we could be bringing in some precip in the Appalachian Mountains and then right here along the coast. But this isn't going to be one of these events that soaks the whole state of North Carolina. So it looks like we're going to get through much of this week with a drier bias overall. So when is our next chance at some rainfall? Well, here, we're all the way out till Friday, getting into Saturday. Saturday's not going to have it, neither is Sunday. And the reason why, there's a huge area of higher atmospheric pressure that's just sitting over this area, dominating the flow pattern. It will be pumping a bunch of moisture up here into the middle part of the country. So we're going to watch this area early next week to kick off a cycle, and that will eventually make it over toward us on the East Coast. But it's still going to be several days away. Watch, this is now valid Saturday evening. I got you out to Sunday evening. There's that system I told you about on the 25th. And it's going to try to get over to us by the 26th and 27th. But that's pretty far out in the forecast. This is way out here, almost 8 to 10 days out before we see any major low pressure systems that may be causing some problems for the Carolinas. So we're going to talk about temperatures in a few minutes, but basically over the next 7, possibly even out to the next 10 days, things are looking drier, although the end of that time period could have a system coming through again on the 26th or 27th. Now, just to show you how well the models are picking up on that system emerging on the 25th, which we'll get over to the Carolinas on the 26th and 27th, we're looking here at the European model ensemble average. And this is just telling me that the probability of that event happening, where that low emerges somewhere in the Arklatex and Oklahoma region, that it may eventually get there and then get over to the East Coast. So this is just saying There's pretty good agreement with this in the model. Now, what's causing this interesting pattern that we're in? I'm going to show you a little bit different perspective of our mid-level flow in the atmosphere here. Remember, we always look at these maps for troughs and ridges. We're looking right now down right on top of the North Pole, which is tucked away right in through here. Now, what will be dominating our flow over the coming days is going to be this ridge. And you'll be able to see this because we're going to have troughs that kind of just circle around it like that. So that ridge will be the dominant player while all these troughs go around it just like this. Now, in this situation, during early spring, this is a flow pattern that's very suppressive right in through here where I write this C. We call that upper level convergence. And that's what's really going to kind of tap down the probabilities of us getting much in the way of rainfall over the next, well, let's call it 8 to 9 days or so until we get to the 25th, 26th, 27th. So let me take those drawings off there and I want you to see what this pattern is going to do. But the only consequence of this pattern, in addition to the drier conditions, is that at times over the next 5 days, we will be cooler than average. But look at this, by the time I get us out to the weekend, so this is now Saturday, that ridge begins to progress over toward the east coast, while the trough that's going to make that big weather system on the 25th gets over into the Four Corners area. So throughout much of this week, we're going to be cooler than average, but building toward warmth by the end of the week and weekend. But then we have that system kicking through on the 26th, see it there? 27th, right across the southeast, bringing in precipitation and a shot at some cooler weather. But we tend to go back more toward, I would say more climatologically average temperatures after that. Okay, what did the temperatures really look like? Well, this is going to be every 6 hours looking at temperature anomalies. So as we get going here, we can see that to start the week, we'll get here by Tuesday. Let's watch that again. By Tuesday, we've already got those cooler anomalies along the coast. But you see they weaken throughout the week. This is now Wednesday, then into Thursday, and into Friday, such that by once I get you into the weekend, see the warmth starting to arrive? There it is. This is now Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. And it's not going to be until that system gets through on the 27th that we get a next halfway decent shot at some cooler air. But cooler air this time of year, look at these colors. We're in these colors up here. We're not down in the, minus 10, 15, 20 range. It's just a few degrees cooler than average. So spring is most certainly on its way here. But this pattern is going to remain quite active as we work our way through March and into April. Okay, as we finish this up, I just want to take you quickly to South America and kind of give you some of the bigger picture here. Our safrinha crop, which is mostly going in here as a corn and cotton crop in Mato Grosso and parts of eastern Brazil, has gone in early. Weather conditions have been good. Even though you see a bit of a dry bias right into this area, that's not a major dry bias at all. In this eastern region here that's getting quite a bit of rain over the next 10 days or so, has been a little bit drier than average, so they're desperately going to need that rain, which is going to make for a better overall picture for this safrinha crop. Meanwhile, in Argentina, they've been quite wet throughout much of this growing season, and as a consequence, their corn and soybean crop looks pretty good. They do have a cool and dry bias over the next 10 days, but that's going to be looking favorably upon by those folks in Argentina as pretty decent weather moving forward. And lastly, I just want to take you quickly to Australia. You can see we're picking up on a wet bias into this area over the next 15 days. And one of the reasons for that is we have Tropical Cyclone Trevor sitting right here. And it is forecast to move basically into this section of Australia and just kind of sit here in this area, bringing in quite a bit of precipitation over the next 10 days or so. So this is going to be quite a bit of a change for the northern part of Australia. But you can see getting all the way down into this section of Queensland and New South Wales that they do have a bit of a wet bias. Again, we've got a wheat crop there, we've got a cotton crop there, and we do grow some other crops in that area. So this precipitation is going to be favorable for agriculture in Australia. Just wanted to give you that global update though as we wrap up this forecast video. And with that though, I'll go ahead and stop right there. We at Nutrient Ag Solutions and the Farm Credit Associations in North Carolina, thank you for your attention. Hope you look forward to our next forecast video coming out next week. Thank you.